Welcome to Haltech Elite NSP Training Part 80. In this training module, we're going to be exploring setting up and working with advanced nitrous control. This is going to be including working with a solid state relay and progressive style nitrous. We have a lot to cover. Let's jump in so we can check this out.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at setting up our advanced nitrous control programming within our Haltech Elite using our NSP software. Now, this advanced style nitrous control is going to be a progressive style nitrous control. We're going to be using a solid state relay to pulse width modulate a nitrous control solenoid to vary the amount of nitrous we want to bring into our engine. This allows us to have something like a 200 shot of nitrous, being able to regulate our engine down to something like a 50 or 100 shot at any given point of operation. We can use this to stage our nitrous and our power delivery as we're going down the drag strip or in traction limited conditions. There is many reasons why we'd want to use a progressive style nitrous control. In my opinion, this is a superior way to work with programming nitrous. We're going to go over a schematic and outline a strategy here in this tutorial of how we can implement and use this progressive style control. We're also going to be exploring adding additional sensors such as a bottle pressure sensor to ensure that the nitrous is not able to spray until it has adequate bottle pressure. We're going to learn how we can implement a bottle heater also into our control routine. So a lot of variables here that we can work with, a lot of programming conditions we can work with. This is going to be digging into the nitrous control a little bit more in depth than our last tutorial, looking at that basic on or off control. All right, let's jump in here and let's take a look at our schematic of how we want to program and work with this particular strategy I'm going to be showing you for this tutorial. Now, coming up on screen is going to be our schematic. So let's take a look at some of the key components that we have within this schematic. Now, we're going to find we have our Haltech Elite box. We're going to find we have an arming switch. We have our battery. We have a solid state relay. In this case, we have a single fogger style nitrous jet. This would be the most simplistic way to implement progressive control. You could do this direct port. You could also do this with the single fogger option. You could do this wet or dry. The example I'm going to go through here would be for a dry kit and adding additional fuel flow rate through our port fuel injectors. But again, if you went with a wet kit, you could simply just omit any of the fuel control through the Haltech, as we're going to introduce here for the tutorial. So it makes things maybe a little bit more simplistic, but I like to go and work with dry kits and doing more of that virtual programming in our fuel flow rate through our injectors. Moving on here, we have our nitrous solenoid. We have our nitrous bottle. And then lastly, we have in this schematic here, a pressure sensor that's going to be on the outlet of our nitrous bottle. That's going to be actually looking at our bottle pressure. And that's really important because we typically want to have around 900 to 1,000 PSI of bottle pressure. If our bottle pressure isn't that high, and we go to do a pool with nitrous, you're not going to see the full power output for the rated nitrous jet size or jet sizes that you're working with. Very important that, in my opinion, you add a bottle pressure sensor. Now, what's not pictured in this schematic would also be a bottle heater and another relay, just a basic on-off relay to control when that bottle heater turns on or off, purely based on our arming switch and the bottle pressure. So we can actually take things a step further. All we have to do, go into the car, turn our bottle on, turn the arming switch on, and allow it to warm up the bottle to achieve the pressure, and then everything in the system will work. Let's talk about how we can set this all up so we have more of an automated progressive style nitrous control. So the very first thing we're going to have to do here is turn on our nitrous output and turn on our nitrous control. We've talked about where to find that in the last tutorial, but let's dig in here and take a look. We're going to go into our main area here, and we're going to go down into our functions tab, navigation tree, and we're going to move down here into our engine functions. Now, under engine functions, we're going to find that under nitrous control, we have a lot of things we can turn on or off. We're going to keep this simple for this tutorial. We're going to assume we're having a 200 shot of nitrous, and we're going to be doing this a dry progressive kit. So it's direct port, dry kit, progressive spray. We're going to simply just choose a singular nitrous control output. So this is going to be our single stage in a progressive manner. And then we're also going to be doing a nitrous enable switch. We're not going to be using an override switch, and we've talked about that in the last tutorial. The override will allow you to override any of the programming conditions and essentially allow the nitrous stage to turn on and start to work. It's not really relevant for a progressive kit because we're usually being a little bit more specific of how we're bringing in the nitrous as we're going, let's say, through the engine RPM band, or as we're going down the drag strip, vehicle speed based, ground speed based, gear based, however we're staging our progressive style control. So I'm not gonna go ahead and enable an override option. We're gonna just keep that out. I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick reboot here, and then we're gonna jump down here under both the nitrous enable and under the nitrous controller. Now here we need to go and set our conditions.
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.